Good day, friends. Rick back again with another Grey Knights Brotherhood Redesign video. This time we're going to do the Silver Blades. And go ahead and stick around to the end of the video because we have an important announcement about some upcoming streaming stuff that we will be doing this weekend. So if you can hold off just 2 days, you have the chance to win a bunch of fabulous prizes. And with that, let's do it. Grey Knights Brotherhood Redesign 8th Brotherhood, the Silver Blades. As anybody who is familiar with the Grey Knights is well aware of, they are the Brotherhood that when you graduate to being a full battle brother, because remember the Grey Knights don't have scout companies, they don't have anything like that. So once you have gone through all the trials to become a Grey Knight, bam, that's it. You are immediately dumped into the 8th Brotherhood, the Brotherhood that is led by Aiden Pedron. He is the Knight Commander of the Recruits. So this is where they all go when they are newly risen, and this is where they go to learn teamwork and how to actually use the Aegis with their brothers. If you've ever read The Emperor's Gift, notable members include Hyperion. You should definitely read that one. But what they are generally known for is adaptive tactics and thinking on their feet, which is what I want to use with the design philosophy later. So their current state, though, they have a stratagem called adaptive excoriation.
Excoriation.
Stratagem called adaptive excoriation, and this is super lame, honestly. Silver Blade's core unit is eligible to shoot after they fall back. 9th edition is so damn deadly that if you have a shooting unit that you care about the shooting, them to even live through one fight phase is pretty rare. So we're gonna say goodbye to this one. Pew pew, gone. Their Warlord trait, martial perfection. So at the start of the fight phase, the Warlord is in with engagement range of any enemy unit that can fight first that phase, not bad. And each time this Warlord makes a melee attack, you can re-roll the hit roll. Also, not bad, but not as good as it could be. It's not as good as some of the Warlord traits we're seeing in the new codexes, so modification, we're gonna change it up a little bit. Their psychic power, temporal accuracy. This is another one that's like super lame. I think everybody felt that way when the book came out. I think everybody kind of knew the Silver Blades were the one Brotherhood that didn't really have almost any play at all. But part of it is this power is just not good. But temporal accuracy is a warp trace value of 5 if manifested until the start of your next psychic phase. All Stormbolters, Mastercrafted Stormbolters, and relics that replace either of those weapons that are equipped can be treated as being pistol 4 with a range characteristic of 12. And honestly, this feels like something that could just be a passive bonus. So we're gonna say goodbye to this. We're gonna kill it. Exterminatus. All right, so the design philosophy of the 8th Brotherhood. This Brotherhood needs to be good at a lot of things, but a master of none. For that reason, I'm gonna give them a little bit of melee, a little bit of range, and a little bit of psychic power, but they are not as specialized as the other Brotherhoods are. So this is a jack of all trades, master of none, and that makes sense because this is where recruits are going to go and they're going to learn all those skills that general Grey Knights will learn, and then they will decide whether to stay with this Brotherhood or, at the behest of the Grandmasters, move to another that maybe suits their purposes and their skill set better. All right, so passive bonuses. Here we go. This is what I would propose. And remember, this is all in good fun. All Silverblade core and character units may shoot their Stormbolters into combat as pistol 4. Just passive bonus, bam, the whole army can do it. End of discussion. Additionally, all Silverblade's core and Silverblade's character units gain the ability to shoot and cast psychic powers if they fall back. So that's pretty cool. That's removing one of those things that makes it really hard for psychic armies. You can kind of get trapped, and then if you fall back, you can't cast. If you roll the Silver Blades with these rules, you would be able to. And then, as I've done with all the other ones so far, once per game per unit, pick a Silver Blades core or character unit to be in the Tide of Convergence. This tide is considered to be active along with the tide that the rest of the army is already in. This ability allows a tide to be used again that was previously used. So I think this is really fun. I've said it in every other video. Tides is really powerful. There's a lot of overlapping cool stuff that could have been done that Games Workshop didn't. This is one of the ways that I would love to see them overlap and be really neat. So how would I change the stratagem? Well, Forge Defiance of Fate. 2 CP. When arriving from the Teleportarium, from Gate of Infinity, or from a teleport shunt, a Silver Blades infantry unit gains +1 inch to their charge roll. So kind of like their one unit can, in the movement phase, can go ahead and decide that they're going to be Blood Angels for one turn. Then additionally, and this is why it's 2 CP and not 1, you get to add 1 AP to melee weapons that are in that unit until the end of the fight phase. So you get to arrive from Deep Strike, you get an 8-inch charge, and then you get 1 more AP. So now every sword you have is -4. Every warding save you have is now -2. I think this is really fun, and it's interesting. Because you can only use it on 1 unit at a time, don't think it's too abusable. Now, here's where things get interesting. I actually spent a lot of time doing the math on this, and I actually got 2 of my friends who are really good at math to help me kind of visualize it. So, this gives a unit coming out of various forms of Grey Knight Deep Strikes a base 65% chance to land a 9-inch charge. That's including a reroll, it's 41% without one. While in Tide of Celerity, this chance leaps way up to 83% with a reroll, 58 without. Math is all in the description down below. There's a spreadsheet if that's your thing. It even has a visual aid to help guide you with the matrix, because that's what I need, because I'm a math idiot and visual aids are helpful to me. But I think this is super strong. You have to go ahead and in the Nephilim, the world of Nephilim, you are going to be planning on spending 2 CP, possibly 3 to get that charge in. And so this has a huge cost associated with it, but it could potentially land you a really strong play when you really need 1 unit to get this off and get that charge in. All right, we're going to change that Warlord trade up. We're only going to add 1 thing. So it already has fight first, it already has reroll all hits, but what this is going to do is it's going to add fight on death. You'll notice it says Warlord, does not say infantry. Did that on purpose. It's not a miss. I think it would be really cool to put it on Grandmaster Dread Knight, which, spoiler alert, I might do that in the example list. We'll have to see. Blessed Fury has a warp charge value of 6. If manifested, select 1 enemy unit within 18 inches of this unit. Each time a Silver Blade model from your army makes an attack against that enemy unit, an unmodified hit roll of 6 automatically wounds. So this is going to make your Dread Knights scarier. This is going to make your Stormbolters a little scarier. And it is castable with the Tide of Escalation. If that's something that you want to try, you could actually do that to multiple units. But in this way, what would happen is you can have 1 unit cast it. Your whole army gets exploding 6s against that unit for warp charge 6. And then their relic. So I've been adding a relic to every Brotherhood because for whatever reason we did not get them with the codexes. So this is the Seal of Tempered Faith. Once per battle at the start of the fight phase, you can select 1 enemy unit within 3 inches of the bear. That unit is not eligible to fight this phase until after all eligible units from your army have done so. Standard fight last. And then at the start of your fight phase, if the bear is within engagement range of any enemy unit, it can fight first. So you get fight first for that entire unit forever for the whole battle, but once per battle you can turn off fight first or put fight last onto 1 unit. So what would an example list look like? Well, this is what I was thinking I would bring. So this is exactly 2,000 points. It's a battalion. You're going to start with 2 CP because this is, again, the Nephilim GT pack. HQs, I'm going to bring the Grandmaster Dread Knight with a hammer, not a sword, but he'll get reroll all hits from martial perfection, so I don't think the hammer will be that bad, but I was also 5 points over, so that made it perfectly 2,000 points. We're going to give him a sight cannon and a silencer. He's going to get the teleporter, Gate of Infinity, Empiric Amplification, Servant of the Throne, Sigil of Exigence, Unyielding Anvil, and Martial Perfection. So this is all the standard good stuff except a hammer instead of a sword. Filling out the HQs, we have Castellan Crow. He's going to bring warp shaping. Castellan Crow is a fantastic backline objective holder. He can hide really easy. He gets AOC, and he has fight on death. He has a 6's heroic intervention. So if anybody charges him or tries to take a objective off of you with some cheapy unit, Crow can just dive in and chop him. And then here we go. 1 10-man Terminator squad, all with swords. We're going to give them Exemplar of the Silver Host and give the sergeant of this squad the Seal of Tempered Faith. So that is the fight first all the time, and choose 1 unit to fight last. Then we're going to round out the troops with 2 5-man strike squads, also with swords, and then fast attack full complement of 30 interceptor squads, also with swords. Lots and lots of swords. You could go swords or halberds on these guys with AOC, and with my meta, there's a ton of power armor out there, so I think sword is what I would do, but halberds would not be bad, especially when you consider the fact that you can have them shunt, give them the 2 CP stratagem for 1 more AP, and the +1 to charge, and then Bob's your uncle. Heavy support, we're going to round that out with 1 other Nemesis Dread Knight with sword, teleporter, silencer, and side cannon. And then we're going to have 1 Rhino, which we'll put 1 of the squads of interceptors or strike squads in at the start of the game, and that will give them that extra 3 inches of movement. Now, how would this play? So the big crutch is obviously that 10-man brick of Terminators. They can be used much more offensively to hold the middle or push into enemy territory, thanks to the increased chance of a charge out of gate via the strat. If they get stuck in a very dangerous melee threat, they can use their relic to give them fight last, and they always have fight first, obviously. And then the Brotherhood power gives them significant melee ability against almost any threat, because the power works with both ranged and combat, so we will have automatic wounding happening on 6s. If you combine it with putting the Terminators into Tide of Convergence for 1 turn with the Brotherhood passive, you can really get a wombo combo going up with 6s to wound, auto wounding, and 6s doing mortal wounds. I had actually thought in my first list about bringing a chaplain for Words of Power to make this even worse, even stronger, rather. And I couldn't get the points to fit without losing one of my precious Nemesis Dread Knights or some of my Interceptors. Maybe you can do better, but I still think this would be a really fun phase. And then anybody who gets stuck in and survives on your next turn is going to get shot for free with a bunch of Storm Bolters. Just, you know, they're Storm Bolters. They kill T3 like nothing, and then for anything T5 and up, maybe you chip some wounds. Free damage is great. 30 interceptors going to be running all over the board, being melee threats, being shooting threats, double moving, grabbing objectives, purifying ritual, raising banners, whatever. They're obnoxious, they're great. Everybody loves interceptors. That 12-inch move is nuts. The Rhino is there for move blocking, and again, like I said earlier, catapulting the interceptor or the strike squad forward. That extra 3 inches of movement, surprisingly good. Not to mention, it can also keep a squad safe from other threats if you don't go first. And then, of course, the Grandmaster Dread Knight has martial perfection, so they will be hitting on 3s with the hammer, but they're re-rolling all hits. They'll have fight first, and if anybody manages to kill them in melee, they fight on death. So now you don't want to shoot him because he'll jump, and you don't want to fight him because he'll fight on death. Both of those are single-use abilities, so you might not be able to always get them off every single game that you play, but I think that would be really, really fun and be an excellent way to make people think twice before just taking out your Grandmaster right away. So that's it. That is what I think would be a really fun list and a really fun way to play the 8th Brotherhood, the Silver Blades of the Grey Knights. And now for that announcement that I was going to make. So this weekend, Saturday, that's in 2 days from when this video is going to drop, Zach and I will be live at Ordo Fanaticus in downtown Portland, live streaming an RTT. So we'll be live streaming 3 games. We will be doing a benefit for the Extra Life charity. So all of the stream information will actually be down below. It won't be hosted on my channel. It will be on Twitch or Zach's Twitch because that's already tied in with all the Extra Life stuff. Anyway, Zach has managed to get a whole bunch of really cool awards for people who donate. So there are a bunch of Logitech things. There's a nice keyboard. There's a huge one of those big mouse pads. There's a Mega Boom, which is a large Bluetooth speaker. There's the Hyper Boom, which is an enormous Bluetooth speaker. And there's some other little things as well, including a mouse, rather. Maybe a webcam. I can't honestly remember. There's a ton of stuff. It's over $1,000 in prizes that he managed to finagle out of various sponsors. 2 of them are locked behind reaching a high value on our donations. So $500 I think unlocks the Mega Boom, and $750 unlocks the Hyper Boom. Again, the details are all in the description down below, but we're doing this to benefit charity. It's all through the Extra Life website. You're not giving money to anybody else. You're giving money directly to Extra Life. It's not going through us or whatever. So if you have any time this weekend and you're curious, please swing by the link down below, see our stream, watch it live, and maybe give a little bit of money to a really awesome children's charity. And with that, thank you for watching. We hope to see you this weekend. And don't forget, call your mother.